Assault and Battery, hosted by Mel and Kelly.
And Mike.
Forget what you know. Forget what you know. Assault and Battery.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Saul and Battery. That's repeating the song again. Sorry about that. So welcome to the show with technical challenges. We are on Saul and Battery. I'm Kelly Toole at KELLYTHUL on Twitter, and with me, normally, physically, non-virtually, is Mike. Say hi, Mike.
Hello, Mike. I am Mike at Official Pagan, and I have to yell tonight because Google doesn't want to recognize my microphone.
Yeah, so Mike's like just imagine Mike in a small enclosed box, which is actually how he does most of the shows. So it's actually accurate in terms of that. Our conscience, our balancer, our governor, our controller of good taste, Mel, is having internet problems today, and so she will not be able to join us, much to her dismay after seeing last show and seeing what happens when she's not here. So she is not going to be able to join this week. And then just to add to the fun, gang, next week, we've been doing these on Tuesday nights. There's a pretty good chance, because of some situations that I've got going on right now, travel-wise, is that our next Assault and Battery, instead of being Tuesday, will be Friday night. I'm breaking this news to you, Mike, as we speak, so hopefully that will work for you. We'll chase it down next week, but we'll see how it goes.
I think I can make it work.
Excellent. So, as everyone knows, our millions of Assault and Battery viewers, we begin the show with a 1-minute recap of the previous show. I did it poorly in the first week. Mike, I went back and re-listened to it again. Outstanding job, Mike, on your 1-minute recap. Very impressive. And
I do what I can.
And now it's Mel's turn, and Mel doesn't have internet. So, but Mel's awesome, and so what she did is she actually recorded her 1-minute recap of the episode, which I am going to, in a show that's beset with interesting technology challenges. We'll see how this one goes here, but I'm going to attempt to play Mel's 1-minute recap, and it's actually, she sent me that. Not only did she record it, she sent me the transcript of the recording, so that if the recording doesn't work, I can read the transcript. But you actually need to hear it in Mel's voice, and so that's the way we're going to go. And so here's our 1-minute recap. I'm turning it over to Mel. Give me a second here as I work on the various media devices to make this happen.
Jimmy went down to Texas looking for some old folks' hearts to steal. He was way behind on clients to find, and he was looking to make a deal. Chuck is still being a big old evil D-bag, questioning Jimmy's client, getting methods in front of everybody. Kim won't play footsie under the table anymore because Jimmy's making her look bad. Jimmy's trying to be a good lawyer for Kim and all, and decides to make a commercial for the old folks at Sam Popper watching Murder, She Wrote. He doesn't like nebulous swirls, so he enlists the most unenthused film students ever and Little Mrs. Alpine Shepherd Boy to make the sweetest little old lady commercial you've ever seen. Mike gives Kaylee a toy pig while Mama acts crazy about gunshots in the middle of the night. It's a backfiring car, but she's crazy and needs to move to a safer neighborhood. Mike goes to Bad Veterinarian to get more money, but Mike won't do the high-paying next-level stuff, so the best he has for him is a $200 job. Sad Mike is sad. Jimmy shows Kim his commercial at his nifty corporate apartment with its big balls and non-vibrating chairs. She is suitably impressed and is happy he's being a good boy. Jimmy airs his commercial without getting it cleared with Ed. After a terrifying silence, the phones start ringing with new old people. Jimmy is pleased. He's so pleased he invites Kim back over to watch old movies. Sadly, Ed's not as impressed nor pleased at Jimmy's initiative. Jimmy pretends to Kim that it's all good. It's not. There's a meeting being called, a bad meeting. Mike also gets a phone call. It's from Bad Veterinarian. He's had a special high-dollar request for Mike specifically. He doesn't know who the guy is, but he's willing to pay a lot. Mike can't afford to turn it down. He meets the guy. The guy is Nacho. He has someone he needs Mike to make go away. Who can it be?
Wow. So we gave Mel a Texas minute. We told her she had a minute 15. She went a little bit long, as you see, and frankly, to me, it was worth it. That was great.
Absolutely. That was, without question, the best one.
Yeah, that was fantastic, Mel. So thank you very much for doing that. That was. I feel horrible now. It's like I can't do that. That is outstanding. Well, I think we just called a show because Mel just captured everything that we need to talk about.
Yeah, I feel like there's nowhere else to go.
It's tough.
We can spend another solid 10 minutes on Squat Cobbler, but after that.
Yeah, we had toyed with Squat Cobbler Live, changing the name of the show to Squat Cobbler Live, and just having Mike and I sit on pies, but no one really wins in that scenario, so we're not going to do that. The other super awesome thing outside of Mel sending, so here's, for anyone who's listening to Saul and Battery, one, thank you, and two, thanks to Mel she's fighting some nasty internet issues. She managed to record that, get us the recap, and not only that, but she's got her questions and favorite quote. She sent it all in email, so it's as if Mel is with us, absent the judgment. So, again, it's left to Mike and I to make decisions during the show, and that can prove to be problematical, as we learned last week. So again, thanks, Mel, and we'll get Mel's question out. Matter of fact, why don't we start with Mel's question? So for folks not familiar with the show, what we do is the 1 minute recap, or 125-minute recap here, but totally worth it. And then we go into a series of questions we have, and we're looking on Twitter to see if you have questions as well. And then we'll talk about favorite quotes. So we will start, Mike, with Mel's question, which is, how do you feel about lime jello? So she has an answer, but let's hear Mike's response to lime jello. How do you feel about lime jello first?
So here's the thing. I've never been a big jello guy. Never. I mean, the pudding is good, but the actual, traditional jello, not a fan. If I were to go for jello, lime would probably be the last thing I would reach for. You?
So you're the anti-Mel, partially. You're right down the track of being the Mel, and then you turn into the anti-Mel at the end. Because Mel's response is, I'm not a fan of jello. But if I have to have it, lime is the best. So she's on a pro-lime jello. I, too, would align more with Mel than you, Mike, on, first of all, I don't mind jello. I don't have this insane hatred that apparently you and Mel have towards jello, but
I have been wronged by jello in the past.
I'm not entirely surprised at all. So I'm jello agnostic. Willing to consume it when provided. I do think lime is one of the noblest flavors of jello, so long as you don't do the... Have you ever experienced the concept of coleslaw in jello, Mike?
Absolutely not. Is that a real thing?
That's a thing. You don't
now,
even,
when you say it's a thing, do you mean it's a thing people do by choice, or is that like an enhanced interrogation technique?
I think it's the Gitmo kind of. That's it's waterboarding and then lime jello with coleslaw in it, but it's nasty. So So Mel is trying to watch. She doesn't know if she can watch, but she's going to try and watch and tweet at the same time. So we're going to keep an eye out for her. And special shout out to Julie Ann Emery, who played Betsy Kettleman. And gosh, we hope she continues to play her and she shows back up again somehow in the Saul universe. But she was nice enough to retweet our link when we put it out there for tonight. So thank you very, very much for that.
Yes, thank you.
So
we are the OG Kettlehead speaking.
Kettleheads through and through, 100%. Matter of fact, we could have put a little Kettlehead on the Saul today, and I should have done that, but with all the different issues we were working through today, it just didn't happen. So we've got Myrna weighing in on Jell-O. This should be good. Myrna is out there, and she says that she loves yellow, which I was unaware was a flavor, but yellow.
She can taste the color.
Taste the color, but only I love yellow. Myrna's actual tweet is, I love yellow, but only cherry and orange. I don't know what to make of that exactly, but because I thought yellow was lemon.
Right.
So, but cherry Jell-O, orange Jell-O, that's good. Lemon Jell-O's good. Just keep the coleslaw out of any one of those, please, folks. It's just no one wins from there.
No, that is
alrighty.
Who would do
that? So my lineage, I don't know if we've really broken this down on the Saul and Battery before, but I went to a parochial school, and the parochial school heavily featured lime Jell-O with coleslaw inside of it. I don't really know.
As punishment for what?
It's a guilt thing. I think, it's just I think they just kind of, it seemed right at the time, but I don't know. We'll see on that. All right, so we got Mel's question. We got Mel's awesome recap. Mike, do you have a question for this week?
Yes, I do, and my question actually sort of ties into my quote. So, is there any way I can maybe prematurely quote here?
Okay, so Myrna's clarifying is that she doesn't love yellow, she loves Jell-O. So she's pro Jell-O, not pro yellow. Not that there's anything wrong with yellow.
Right.
With cherry and orange being, ironically, even though she tweeted she loves yellow, she hates lemon Jell-O. So there's a lot.
I feel like she's just toying with our hearts.
I think, yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. So we're going to go through. But to clarify, Myrna, pro Jell-O, cherry and orange, top of the list for her, not a fan of lemon. Ignore any commentary on yellow. And to your point, Mike, yes, absolutely. If you want to bundle your question and quote, although I think at some point, hopefully Mel rejoins us next week, and we can modify the segment to have what do Kelly and Mel think Mike's favorite quote is. But we'll save that for maybe next week. But go ahead and do your question and your quote together. That'd be great.
Okay, so I'm going to hit you with my little premature quote here. So this doesn't happen all the time, you know it. Just every once in a while.
You're not thinking, you don't like sports, so you can't think about baseball or stuff like that. But go ahead.
Right. I just try and think about sports. So my favorite quote was when Jimmy was watching the previous commercial that his new law firm home had produced, and is getting the commentary that they wanted it to look nebulous, but not too nebulous.
Hey, Mike.
Yes.
It's been a pretty long time since I've said this.
Right.
But you're a bastard. You stole my quote. But okay.
Oh.
I'm good. I can adjust. I got time. It's a great quote.
So that's my quote, because obviously everything I do in life, what I shoot for is for someone to say it's nebulous, but not too nebulous. But my question is, we've all seen those sort of low rent legal commercials. So where do the two commercials that we've seen in this episode fall for you? compared to real legal commercials?
So interesting. That's a good question. So the nebulous but not too nebulous commercial. So I don't see anything of the quality of the commercial Jimmy shot, because Jimmy's commercial was a piece of art. It was outstandingly done. The read through, his reading of it, maybe that could have been a little better. Could have got maybe a more professional voiceover person for that. But the black and white Visine tiered commercial that Jimmy did was outstanding. Whereas the nebulous but not too nebulous one is what I come to expect. So what I have seen on television, if the continuum is nebulous to Visine tiers, the commercials I have seen are very, very close to the nebulous lower side of it for me. How about you?
I completely agree. I feel like I've seen so many commercials that look exactly like the nebulous but not too nebulous commercial. And while I've also seen commercials like Jimmy's commercial, I do feel that they fall on the higher end of the spectrum there.
So,
if you were an attorney,
if I was an attorney,
what would your commercial be?
So I'd have official spokesperson Alice Cooper join my to kind of say, go with Kelly, he's awesome, and then a guillotine would drop. I would try, if I were an attorney, I would try to create the ambiance and angst and incentive that the Visine tier commercial, black and white Visine tier commercial created. So I would do my best. I would fall far short of the beauty that Jimmy created in that particular commercial with the kind of annoying heist college art students. But I would try and do that. But I guess if I was an attorney, I would love to do what became the Better Call Saul commercials, because those looked ridiculously fun.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree. When I was in college, we took a marketing course, and we had to come up with an ad for an already established brand. And basically, like, if I were making a commercial for a law firm, I would go Jimmy's commercials route, but I would actually take it even further and make it like really dark and weird to where it's uncomfortable to watch. So, like, when I was in college and I was working on this project, I got a local grocery store chain. So what I did for the voiceover part was recite statistics about people who die from bad reactions to food, whether it was allergies or food poisoning or any of that kind of stuff. And at the end of it, I say, but hey, maybe you don't love your kids. So I feel like I would have gone Jimmy's route, but taken it even further. Like, maybe the old woman would have been chained to a bed, being beaten, having her food dangled in front of her only to have an orderly eat it. That sort of thing. Heartwarming.
So this is why Mel needs to be on the show. Because that imagery would have stopped somewhere early on where she was, hey, time out. Yeah, so one, not surprised that would be your flavor of a commercial. Not surprised of your college project. That seems to all align pretty well. Makes a lot of good sense. And so I take it that was just what if you didn't like actually pitch that to the grocery store and they said, boy, let's get us some of that.
No. Although I would like to think that they would have been open-minded enough to at least try.
Indeed. That would be good. I think I'm gonna before I throw out my question, I'm gonna go back to Mel. Was nice enough to offer up 2 questions, so I'm gonna offer up her second one here and get kind of your reaction to this, which is how sad did Mike make you in this episode? And I need to probably clarify at this point in time, it's not how sad Official Pagan made all of us during this episode, but this is Mike the character in Better Call Saul. how sad did Mike make you in this episode?
Huh. Really have to kind of, you feel for Mike, but at the same time, like, seeing what Mike is going through, you know it's going to push him to become the character that we all love from Breaking Bad. So I kind of have, like, mixed feelings about it, because you feel for the character and what he's seeing and going through, but at the same time, you want him to get, at least I do as a viewer, I want him to get to the full-blown Mike that we know.
Yeah, and it was interesting for me because and this, I got kind of educated on this post show, because my Stacy, the daughter-in-law, I have felt is somewhat manipulative,
Yes.
and that she goes, oh, thank you for the money, it's gonna help a little, but I could use more, and I feel she's always working Mike to a degree. And so this whole shooting thing going on, I felt she still had kind of an angle, and she was basically manipulating Mike to get more money out of him, which didn't make me particularly enthusiastic about Stacy as an individual or those types of things. But several people pointed out afterwards on some forums and Twitter and those types of things that if instead Stacy's suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome, and her, she's lost her husband and those types of things, and so she's just kind of cracked a little bit mentally, to where this whole sequence of when she hears newspapers dropping on the street, she thinks that they're gunshots. She sees ricochet marks on her garage that may or may not have been a ricochet mark. That it's more coming not from an intent to manipulate Mike to get money out of him, but more out of just her being kind of out of sorts given some tough things that happened in her life, which made me feel pretty bad that I kind of had a little bit of an attitude.
I don't know that those two things can't go hand in hand. Like, just because she's going through some post-traumatic stress, that doesn't mean that her actions aren't, in a way, manipulating Mike, whether she's doing it maliciously or not.
Fair enough. I think it could be a mix. It could be a mix of the two. But I needed to take into account, and fair enough, that she has a lot. So Myrna, our local expert on crazy, and I mean that in the most positive way possible, Myrna. I really, really do, and thank you for listening, Myrna. Is that she feels that she felt sorry for Mike, and she thinks Stacy is crazy, and that Mike cares a lot. And I think I can't really argue with any of what Myrna just tweeted there. I do think he is dedicated to providing any support he can to her. I think she sees that and takes a little bit of advantage of it. And I think she's also dealing with a lot of stuff as well. So
yeah, I have to agree. I just don't think that, because you can be manipulative without necessarily having a malicious intention.
Fair enough.
And that's kind of where I think she's at. Like, I don't think she's setting out in a premeditated way to manipulate Mike, but she is still doing it.
Fair enough. Excellent. I'll move on to my question. And my question is, who does Nacho need Mike's help with to take out? I will offer my position first, Mike.
Sure.
I have shared this on Twitter, and I've received support from the involved parties. My theory is that Nacho is hiring Mike to take out Craig Kettleman because there was an unfortunate sing-along incident involving Craig Kettleman, and Nacho's having none of it. And Jeremy Stamos and Julianne Emery, the Kettlemans, both favorited that, and so I believe they also agree that Craig's at risk. so I'm thinking it's Craig Kettleman is who Nacho's going for. It's a long shot, but I'm going for that.
Well, of course, I would love to see the Kettleman's back on the show. So anything we can do to get Kettleman's back as quickly as possible, I fully support that. However, I think maybe it could be his, what was it, his uncle who
Tuco?
runs the business?
Oh, I don't know if it's his uncle or his dad. I think it's his dad.
Yeah, whatever relative it was who was in charge of the family business. I feel like Nacho is
Go ahead.
not going to kill his own relative to get there. But that doesn't mean he won't hire someone to kill his relative to get there.
So I'm going to ask, I know that the microphone is hanging in the center of the box that we've got you trapped in for tonight's show.
Yes.
If you can inch up a little closer to it, you're starting to break up just a teeny bit.
Sorry about that. So what I was saying was, I don't think he will kill. He's motivated. He wants to move up the food chain. I don't think he's willing to kill his own relative to do it, but I don't think he's above hiring someone to kill his relative to do it.
I could see that. I could see Tuco as a candidate, or maybe he wants to just get rid of Price, Squat Cobbler King.
That's possible as well. Maybe he actually has gotten into the squat cobbler business
now. Yeah, and since Price is kind of cornered, he needs to take out the big 600-pound gorilla in the squat cobbler industry, and so that he can dominate it. So side question: of the entire cast of Better Call Saul, whose squat cobbler video are you most interested in seeing? And this again is why Mel's not here, so I can ask these kind of questions.
That's tough. Obviously Jimmy's would probably be the most creative. Kim's would be the most entertaining. As far as if I had to watch Squat Cobbler. I'm not sure. You?
I'd say Howard on Hamlindigo Blue Pie. Hamlindigo Blueberry Pie. So my...
Howard, you know what? I think you got it. I think Howard would be the best.
He's a handsome man, and I'm sure he's got squat cobbler skills, so it'd be good.
He's a handsome man, and behind that exterior is something dark and weird.
Without a doubt. Alrighty, so you have provided your favorite quote, and oddly enough, Mel has provided her favorite quote, and it would have been what I thought would have been Mike's favorite quote. So there you go. So Mel's favorite quote from this episode was as Jimmy's having a conversation with the University of Samoa's AV club, whatever, the local college's AV club. Jimmy said to them, "Will you two ass clowns act like the professionals your parents are paying you to become?" Pretty good. I like that quote. That was in my top.
Can't go wrong with ass clowns.
Ass clowns is always makes the quote. And unfortunately, since someone stole my number one quote, So the one I identify the most with, because I actually hear it a lot at work, is "Does anybody like you?" But I'm not gonna do that one. I'm gonna go with early on when it was Matlock Jimmy in with the smoozing with the old folk to try and get not soliciting, probably soliciting. We better not talk about it. But when he's there chatting with them and he's getting the things, one guy hands him the sheet and he goes, "Beautiful penmanship, a lost art," which I smiled at. I thought it was pretty awesome.
It's funny because that was my backup.
He was working it. That was pretty awesome.
I think it's very interesting that you and I have similar quotes.
Yeah. I still remain convinced that in your quote selection process, there's a quote you like, and then you step away from it because you know that Mel and I know that it's the quote you'd like, and then you pick something to throw us off. But yeah, that was a good. And again, it was always as always. The show's full. It's so well written. Tons of good quotes from there. Couple more tweets from Myrna. Let me double check on these here. 1 second. And then Karen Brown Cantor retweeted our link for the show as well. So thank you, Karen, very much. Myrna's favorite quote, and this is so. On occasion, we tease Myrna, but it's out of love. Myrna's awesome, and she's a great supporter of the show, and she loves Better Call Saul, and so she's awesome to have part of it. But I got to give Myrna props because she totally gets the concept of what we're trying to do here, where she's asking questions, and she's offered up to us what her favorite quote was. Slightly besmirched by the fact that after she provided her favorite quote and gave it to us, totally awesome. She then parenthetically added to her tweet, "Is that a quote?" So it's like kind of took a little bloom off the rose. But this is a great quote too. Myrna's favorite quote from the episode was, "For you, I can make any chair in this place vibrate," that's a pretty good
Excellent
quote.
selection.
Also feels a little Mikey to me. Feels like a Mikey quote. Hashtag Mikey quote. Anytime you want to put a quote out there you think Mike might have picked, feel free. So thank you, Myrna, for that. Totally agree. And thank you, Karen, for tweeting out the link. Cool. So we've done Mel's awesome, incredibly awesome. So you and Mel have really shamed me. I'm going to try and kick my game up here for next week when I need to do the recap. You guys both did great. I loved Mel's recap. And thanks, Mel, for recording it and sending it. Very, very cool of you.
Yeah,
she did recaps. Yeah. Done our recaps, we've done our questions, we've done our quotes, and I think that takes care of the show. Reminder again, folks, just due to the complex travel schedules and everything that we're dealing with, next week's the Saul and Battery will be likely on Friday night. We'll send some tweets out and let everybody know when we get closer, but very likely next week's will be on Friday, and then we'll get back to Tuesdays after that. We will work to break Mike out of the box that he's in and set him into more appropriate acoustic settings for future. We'll be running T1 lines to Mel's house so that she can connect to us next time for Saul and Battery, and everything will be just peachy next show. Any parting thoughts, Mike?
Just make sure you guys get those squat cobbler videos in.
That's right. We again, as a reminder, $3 American to you. The actual, as you see right here in the video, this fine simulated battery participant to a Saul and Battery, the actual prop battery from a Saul and Battery when Mel's not with us. So you get the sub Mel battery, $3 American, and a DVD from Mike's house, which is like a loot crate gone wrong. So there'll be some sort of...
It could be anything. It could be a project that I actually worked on. It could be a DVD I own. Maybe I'll shoot something especially for you.
So how can you not create your video? So create your squat cobbler video, tweet the link out to us, hashtag the pie is in the oven, and we will be awarding you. We will be picking the winner. They haven't been rolling in. We're a little disappointed that the squat cobbler videos have not been rolling in, but we know that it probably production-wise it's taking everyone a little bit of time. So we're patient.
I would imagine there's stunts involved, some CGI.
You can cosplay your squat cobbler video if you like. Feel free. So anything you like. Celebrity squat cobbler videos are welcome. So we'll see. This will likely be the last time you hear about the contest if Mel rejoins us next week. but since she's not here, it's a good chance for Mike and I to pitch it one last time. And we'll see. So great. So Myrna, you rocked it as usual. Thanks for all the tweets during the show. Everyone else who's listened, also thank you very, very much. Tell your friends. Please join us. It's really super. It's a better show if while we're doing this silliness, we're hearing from you on Twitter and hearing what your favorite quotes are, what your questions are, and so we can kind of all enjoy the coolness that is Better Call Saul. So please tell your friends, tell your neighbors, join us live when you can. If not, catch the video on YouTube later. And don't hesitate ever to just shoot if you've got a question and you can't watch it live, just tweet Mike, Mel, or I and say, this is my question, and we'll be sure to include it in the show.
And Myrna, make sure you get your squat cobbler video.
That's right, Myrna. We're waiting. We're waiting. So, and on that note, Squat Cobbler mentions, again, up another episode, 2 episodes in a row. Lots of mentions. That's a very positive thing. We're on a trend. And we're looking forward to talking to everybody again next week. Reminder again, probably Friday next week. So looking forward to catching up with you then. So this is Kelly saying thanks.
Thank you, guys.